see us as successful, they see us as us. I think we live in such an insular world. Yesterday, like doing the NTV Awards was very, very bizarre. Obviously, like Robert is very iconic and and noticeable. And Jason and I would sort of like stand up at the end of this red carpet thingy and looking down, and it was like odd thing, really odd thing to see, because usually when the Cure work, we work in such an insular environment that for that to be exposed, which Robert is obviously, Robert, they're going to see him, and it's like you think, Christ, that is so bizarre, because we just don't deal with that from a day-to-day working environment within the group.
It's this difficult concept, success, really, because I think if we were talking about us being successful, it would be in terms of whether we think what we do is good. Because when we started out, we didn't think we were going to be successful. I mean, when we were younger...
Yeah, but I know. See, I have to disagree, because before I joined the band, when I used to see it, I knew that Cure would be successful. To my mind, there was never any doubt about that. Because out of all those bands that used to play around that environment,
I know what you mean. We don't measure what we do in terms of us being like a successful band. I think we should be more successful, to be honest. You know that. Of course we fucking should. It's like we're better than most other bands. It galls me when I see some of the fucking idiots that are successful, commercially. But being serious, it doesn't really bother me that much. I don't lose sleep about it, because I think that the Cure have been far more successful commercially than I ever thought. I didn't ever think we'd be this popular. And the fact that we've had the longevity that we've had, I think, is actually a much more important gauge of success. Like going back to the idea of art, the true test of art is time. And I think the fact that we're still around and doing what we do means much more than someone who sells 10 million copies of their first album. I mean, that's not sour grapes, because we sold a lot of records. It's just, if I'd been given the choice at 17, will you still be able to do this when you're 47, or would you like to sell 20 million copies of your first album and then you have to give up because everyone thinks you're an idiot? I would have chosen the first option, because it's much better to know that what you're doing has value. And going back to that again, I don't measure what we do most of the time against what other people do. I don't think if someone's got to number one and we haven't, I have a passing moment where I think, you bastards, but it doesn't really matter, because it's, I think, well, in 5 years ago, I think if we still want to be doing this in 5 years, I hope we can, and the fact that we are means a lot more to me than if we're number one around the world. It would be nice to have both, but maybe we should give our album away. God, what a road to Damascus moment. Of course we're not going to...